Good evening, and if you're just tuning in, welcome. If you are listening to the Angel Rock with your host, myself, Lorilei Potvin. And if you are listening, I invite you to tune in on any of our UPRN or UFO Paranormal Radio / United Public Radio Network pages on Facebook or our two YouTube channels. We have UFO Paranormal Radio and we have UFO Gods and Extraterrestrials. And the reason I welcome you to do that is a lot of people tune in on my Facebook profile, and the problem is I can't see your comments because, as always, when you tune in live, I love to make you part of the show with your comments and questions. Again, this is the Angel Rock on United Public Radio Network, coming to you from New Orleans, Louisiana. If you've never been to my show, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome as well. My show, I say I cover all aspects of the supernatural. And I also, with my guests, have people from all walks of life, whether professionally or extracurricularly, that they are making a positive change for humanity. Now, a little bit about myself. I'm a Canadian clairvoyant medium. I'm a crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, a spiritual teacher and mentor, and I'm a registered nurse. And tonight, you guys get stuck with me. I shouldn't say stuck with me. We like when we have these one-on-ones, these little chats that we're able to have together. I did have a guest planned. We have quite a few amazing guests coming up for you. I think my show is booked right into August. So every week we have a guest, save for July the 4th, which I'm keeping open because in the United States it is Independence Day. And on the Friday before, it's Canada Day, so it's a long weekend. So you've met him before. He is my partner in crime and a host on this network, the Dell of the Delicious Recipe. So if he is off, we will be going out to the cottage at least for a couple days, just not sure what days it'll be over that weekend. So needless to say, if I'm in town on July the 4th, we'll have another get together like this. So I thought, what could we talk about tonight? I've got a whole array of things here to talk about, but I did quite a bit of research. I've really been getting into the paranormal. And the reason why is, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about this listening, I am seeing a real increase in UFO, ET, paranormal activity, and really incredible documentation. And my thoughts are that I think because everything is energy, and collectively, especially over the last 2 years around the world, we've had a lot of fear, we've had a lot of anger, we've had a lot of division, we've lost a lot of people, and that creates lower vibrational energy, which I believe opens a window for paranormal activity, for entities from lower realms to enter onto this plane, to make their presence known, especially something that is up to no good. As most of you may know, or even if you don't know, the food for these type of entities is basically misery, jealousy, fear, hatred, anger, depression, any of the lower vibrational energies. And when you've got around the world, basically the whole food is like a smorgasbord, or the whole world is like a smorgasbord and food to these types of entities. So I figure maybe that's why we're seeing more of it. Now, one of the things that got me going, I was going to do a video about this, and I will, but I wanted to talk about this. I want to hear your thoughts about this if you're out in the ethers there and you're able to leave some comments. Is I've been finding over the years that we are seeing more and more marketing towards very young children, to the youth of today, when it comes to the occult. Now, whether that is symbology, whether it's storylines and shows, even toys. For example, on TikTok, it's kind of died down in the last few months, but it was quite the viral trend, if you will. And it was something called Magic Mixies. And I don't know if you've heard about this or not. This came marketed with this cute little cauldron. I don't know. Try and put it straight. Okay, sorry, my camera's back to the way I am. It's got a cute little face on the top for lid. It's got a little magic button. I don't know if I've got it even on. I did charge it. But the whole point of this is you use a wand that lights up, and you're going to be, when you turn this little machine on, there's certain steps you have to follow, and you touch the magic jewel. Okay? Now it comes with a spell book. This is just one of the pieces. So I grabbed the wrong one. It comes with an absolute spell book. Now, again, there's nothing wrong. I should make that very clear. I have no problem with anybody that is a witch, warlock. You do you. That's fine. You're an adult. You can learn from somebody that can mentor you, teach you properly. There's books out there and so on and so forth. But you are capable of making those decisions. But as a child, right, and this child sees this toy, it was very expensive. I got it marked down. Very, very expensive. And, kids are seeing this on social media. Mom, I want to have one of these. I've got to have one. I've got to have one. Well, it goes through, they're all numbered. So there's a potion bottle. This is number 1. This is the little box it comes with. And there's all these little spell ingredients numbered up to 7 in here, okay? Once you put all of these in, and you have to keep tapping the cauldron with your wand in between each step. And I believe the last part of it is you name this, what's going to come out of here. And what happens is a bunch of smoke, and I think they call it mist, starts coming out. And all of a sudden you hear a little pop. And you look inside the cauldron, and there's a little character. I'm going to show you what she looks like. I'm going to call her a she. Here. Let me see if I can move that closer. Can't think backwards. This little pink character, I believe there's pink or blue, and you know what you're getting by the color of the jewel on the front of the box. Now, what concerns me, I was watching some videos about this. This character makes all these cute little noises, and as you interact with it more and more, apparently it starts to give you more phrases, it starts to speak more. And a couple of the videos I've been watching, and this is why I purchased this toy, I'm picking up some interesting words that these characters are saying. Now, I don't speak Latin. I speak 3 languages as it is, but I do know a few words in Latin. I've seen spells. I've seen, some of the language that's in there. And it's very concerning to me about what kind of language is coming out of this little character that's in here. So I will keep you updated. I am going to do it actually with my youngest son, who is an adult. He has severe autism. I've mentioned him many times. If you're a regular viewer of the show, you've probably seen him. He'll poke his head in here. But my whole point is we're promoting cauldrons, we're promoting spells, we're using a wand. We've got Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter, and I don't have a problem with this. It's just, you think you're purchasing this cute little character. What is this cute little character programmed to say? Like I said, I encourage you to look up magic mixies. There's videos on YouTube. There's videos on TikTok. Take a look for yourself. See what you think, what this character is saying, because a lot of people followed up with a couple days or a week later interacting with this little character by talking to it. And, children sleep with this. What child doesn't sleep with their stuffies, right? And this is absolutely adorable, this little character. But this isn't the only thing, and I don't want to come across as a prude or pointing fingers, but it concerns me because, especially as a parent, and I am one obviously, and you've never been very well versed in the occult or are aware of what symbology is. Hi, Grandmaster UV. Yeah, I agree. I love Harry Potter. I was one of the ones lined up to get the book. So I'm not knocking it, okay? What I'm saying is, and there's nothing wrong about teaching your child this, I believe, if that's something that you feel falls within your values and you want to do that. What I'm saying is to have the guidance there. And I'm going to give you an example of my own parenting snafu. When my children were younger, my eldest is going to be 27 in a couple weeks, and my youngest is 24. and again with severe autism, so very much, with no disrespect, like a 5 to 7 year old. So when I was married to their father, he would get home from work, we'd have dinner, and we'd be in the kitchen getting caught up on our day and doing the dishes, and the kids would be in the living room watching cartoons. And being in Canada, we had something called Teletoon, and it was geared to children. There was nothing supposed to be on there, later content, till after, I believe, 10 o'clock at night. And our kids would be rolling on the floor laughing at this cartoon. And, I remember one time I came in and said, "Oh, what are you guys watching?" They said, "Family Guy." I had no idea what was on Family Guy. And one night we sat down and we all watched Family Guy. I just about fainted when I saw what was on Family Guy. Now, my kids didn't understand it, but that really is a more adult cartoon. It was a good lesson for me that just because something's not is a cartoon doesn't mean that it is child friendly, even when it's typically is supposed to be during the family friendly hour, right? So, another thing that we discovered, and we actually found it interesting, but again, and there were a few articles about this that came out. There's a show called The Owl House put out by Disney. I don't know if you've seen that or not. The character, I'm all for inclusion. My eldest is part of the LGBTQ community. I have no biases in any way about this. I know many people that are transgender, some people very close to me that I love dearly, so I have no problem with this. But this character, I forget what her name is. I want to say Luce, and she is feminine on the top and wears very masculine, sort of half and half. Okay, nothing wrong with that. You do you. But the main character is a demon dog and is identified as a demon. The name Luce, they don't come quite out and say it's Lucifer, but it's pretty well hinted at that that's what the lengthy name is. She goes to a witchcraft school. And my partner Dell watched the whole series. I popped my head in and watched a few episodes. There is so much in the way of sigils, symbols. Depending on how much you know about that kind of stuff, this show is rife with it. There's an owl character. There's a main witch. It's promoting a lot of the narrative, and I won't get into too much of that. Because people have different views about this, about what they're pushing in the legacy media. It was very disturbing. And I know my partner Dell said, "Well, it's probably for for 4 or 5 year olds." I said, "No, I could see this being probably marketed to tweens and above, but a lot of adult concepts, a lot of spells, and like I really paid attention to the symbols and the signs in the background." So we've got innocence here. And again, nothing wrong with a child watching something like that if you have a parent who knows what the show is about and is able to educate your child. And depending on their age, obviously, you're not going to get into a ton of details, but about having a conversation about this. Because to me, that's very scary. Now, most of you may know if you followed my show for a while, but if you haven't, I'm quite well versed in the paranormal. I'm what you would call a light worker, but I sort of discovered my path through my experience. And we lived in our previous home it was about 11 plus years, what we went through the extreme paranormal. There were many people that experienced it beside ourselves. There are EVPs that are out of this world. Calling in to a good friend of mine. He has a fantastic show on YouTube and on Facebook on Sunday nights from 10 p.m. to 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. Central Standard Time, Paranormal Soup. Jason Bland. He's fantastic. Check out his show. He's got great guests, a lot of conversation, great group of people there in the chat. And it was 2017 and he was having his Halloween show, and he does from time to time ITC or intertrans communication on his show. And I happened to forget the Halloween show was on that night. And I was actually watching the tribute concert to Chester Bennington at the time with Lincoln Park and friends. And it was 5 minutes before 1 a.m. And I went, oh, I forgot I should just go check in and say hi to everybody in the chat. And I realized he was having call-ins. So I called in because the show had been given an extra half hour for permission to go a little bit longer. This was when he was on a network. And I was the last caller in. And if you watch this video and you hear what comes through there, it will blow your mind. The voices that came through, there's still a word that came through that nobody knows what it is. We don't know what language it is. We don't know if it was backwards, what it was. It was calling Jason by name. It sounded the voice like, God, what could I use? Something like from almost like a snake in a hiss. It was mentioning names, it was mentioning details. It was mind blowing. The other video that I have, at that time, Jason and I were on the same network, and we were having 72 or 80 hours straight of Halloween. It was called the Spookathon. So I was actually on quite a few of the host shows that weekend to sort of share some of our experiences because I was in my old home. And I called in again. And again, it actually mentioned my partner, Dell, by its name. There were all kinds of things that came through. Now, the pictures are incredible. Like I said, I've had other people in our home at the time who had experienced the activity. There were people who experienced stuff over video, speaking live over Skype, or, yeah, probably Skype was the main thing that I used at that time. And incredible. But the reason I mention all, we also, I will throw in there, we've shared our experience on the international TV show Paranormal Survivor. It's season 4, episode 9, and it's called Demonic Hauntings. And this all started with a dream of something that was about 16 years ago. And I still remember this dream like it was 10 minutes ago. And something that a gentleman was sitting up in the tree in my old front yard and identified himself as a demon, told me his name, spelt it. And I'd never heard this name before. I was raised Roman Catholic. I'd been forced to go to Catholic school. Never heard this name before. And I couldn't find it. And then he told me his animal form. Anyways, fast forwarding about 10 years, somebody had contacted me with an issue with the paranormal, and they had some sort of dream with a name and had asked me, is this something demonic? And I said, well, I'm not an expert in this, but I certainly could take a look for you. And when I did, I just about fell off my chair because I also found the name I had been given in that dream, the exact spelling he had given me, the animal form he had given me, and many other things that had been told to me in that dream. So my whole point of sharing this is it was going after my children. There were many things that happened with my children. Before I became aware of my own gifts, I spent like 18 hours a day, starting locally and working my way out, trying to find help. And many intuitive people I spoke to had said what it wanted was my youngest child, who still to this day is very innocent. And what we had been told was that I myself and Dell were in its way, and it wanted to get us out of the way to have my child, that my child would be the ultimate prize because he was so innocent. I guess with the autism. Hello, Rainbow Light Paranormal. Welcome. So glad to see you. So that is why I started the show off with talking about this, that we're, the stuff that we're seeing targeted to the youth and really young children. And again, if any of you have done any research into the paranormal, most young children can see what's there that we can't see. I always, when I'm working and mentoring with people or somebody contacts me with a child that maybe has, they're noticing a few unusual things, or just in conversation, the child has an imaginary friend. It's always a good idea to find out whom your child is speaking to, what any details they can give you, even over listening to what they're talking about. You may not hear the other entity being, and not everything's nefarious either. I really want to point that out because I find that TV really tends to push that everything's a demon, everything's a demon. That, to, in my belief, that is absolutely not true. You can get things like poltergeist activity. And I always use this analogy too, because this is so common, especially if you're familiar with the paranormal. Somebody moves into a home and, things seem kind of status quo. They might notice maybe their keys are missing or maybe nothing at all. And then they start renovating. And then it seems like if there was activity, it ramps up to 100. If there was no activity, things start getting crazy. So what I've always said to people is that, and being a medium, I only run into probably one or two cases of this where somebody does not realize that they passed away. And what my experience has been, the research I've done, working with mentors and speaking with many other mediums, people that usually don't realize that they passed away have passed away very quickly. Um, Maybe very tragically, they were murdered or, hit by a car, or it was something very unexpected. So, excuse me while I take a drink. So, what I say to people is and the other thing is, we have spirits that don't cross over for many reasons, whether it's whether it's religious dogma, maybe they've committed suicide. Maybe there's revenge involved. They're not going to cross. They're going to take their revenge on this side. Maybe they just love their home. They love their life. They aren't ready to cross. They want to stay. So you take any of those reasons. Maybe you mix it with somebody that wasn't so nice in life, and they're definitely not going to change your personality if they haven't crossed over in death. So, maybe they don't realize they passed away, for example. They're back at their home, very puzzled by why nobody seems to be able to hear them. They're going up to people, talking to them, trying to figure out what's going on. And they're living their life in their home, so they think. And then these strangers move into your home. They can't hear you. They're getting in all your stuff. Maybe they're throwing your stuff out. Maybe they're cleaning all the whole house out. Then they start ripping things apart and start renovating. Think about yourself. What would you do if people couldn't hear you, they couldn't see you, and they were getting in all your stuff? And, you think first thing, right? Well, I'd call the police, or would probably kick their butts. First of all, get them out of their house, right? Well, you can't get them out. What are you going to do to make your presence known that there's somebody here and quit touching my stuff and wrecking my home? So that's actually an example of why you may see that kind of activity. Maybe there's so many different reasons, just like there's so many different human beings on this planet, and each one of us is unique and individual. So there's many different reasons. That's just an example. I'm going to read your comment here, Rainbow. I've been there. We had our frying pan go missing. Still haven't found it. LOL. My keys went missing too at one point. You found those. Well, I'm glad you found them. Well, what happened in our home was in the beginning, well, I should back up a bit. And the thing is, we knew the history of the home. It was my ex-husband's family home. They apparently had nothing going on in the home when they lived there. But ever since we moved into that home, now remember, my eldest is 27. So we moved in when he was 15 months old. And we never really had paranormal activity, but nothing seemed to go right. Like I mentioned, I'm a nurse. I had a severe back injury and we required emergency back surgery. I was never able to return to my career. Could that have happened anywhere? Absolutely. Um, my ex had 3 professional designations. He could never seem to get a well-paying job. A second child was born, almost died at birth. There was a whole conglomeration of really, I don't want to say negative things, but things that you just always felt like you couldn't get ahead. And then, like, it's now, God, it's probably 15, 16 years ago when the activity would have started at our home. Things started happening. Like, I remember at the time, and I was pretty well bedbound for a long time with my back. So I was laying down most of the time. And my ex and I had just watched the movie The Secret. That's when The Secret had come out. It was this big thing. And when I could get up, I'd go out and do some running around, and I still kept very busy. I love to be creative, do crafting, all kinds of things. So I was creating a bunch of dog supply, dog accessories, jewelry, all kinds of stuff. And I happened to be out just after that movie, and I went to a couple of my favorite local boutiques and stores. And everywhere I went, I got chit chatting, and they asked me to bring in my merchandise, but they absolutely refused to take any commission. I thought, oh my God, this is so strange. I remember coming home saying to my ex, Earl, we're still on good terms, and he knows the story. I have his permission to mention his name. He signed a release with the TV episode. He wasn't mentioned in it, but I know he's aware of this. Anyways, I recounted this to him, and I said, this is so weird. And he goes, well, maybe it's the secret. Maybe it's the law of attraction. And I went, well, maybe, I guess. I don't know. So I went to bed that night, and that's when I had that dream. And I'm going to get a little bit more into detail with this, because at the time, just after I had the dream, I can definitely concur with some of the things you've mentioned, Rainbow. So there was this man in a tree in our front yard in the dream, and I was outside, and I remember looking up into the tree, and as I looked up, I could see, I always say I'm not a high maintenance type of person, but you could tell the man had on a very expensive, very dark charcoal colored pinstripe suit. He had white crisp shirt on and a black tie, and there was a jacket. But as I looked up, his skin was like this sickly white, kind of grainy color, and he had this black, very tightly trimmed, all-in-one beard, goatee, and mustache. And his hair was all slicked back. It was black, and it was about to here. And then when I looked in his eyes, oh my gosh, they were all black, and then they kept changing to like this red flame. And he said, hello, Lorilei. And I remember the dream just, how do you know my name in my brain? And he said, you know that little business that you have, what you saw the other day? That's nothing. He said, I can give you anything beyond your wildest dreams. All you have to do is agree to follow me. I can give you wealth. I can give you fame. And I remember, it's not radio friendly what I said in the dream, but I told him in no uncertain terms, absolutely not. And then I said, who are you? He started to laugh, and he proceeded to tell me that he was a demon. He told me his name. He spelt it. And again, not radio friendly, but in no uncertain terms did I want anything to do with this entity, and told it where to go. And he kept laughing at me and menacing me and saying, oh, no, 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 no. Every time you see a crow or a raven, you'll know who it is. And I remember in the dream, I called on Archangel Michael. There was this brilliant flash of blue, silver, and white. I woke up shaking, drenched in sweat, and crying. And it was around 3 a.m. when I woke up. I'm not a crier. I usually don't remember my dreams in that kind of detail. But that is when all hell broke loose in my home. My marriage broke up very shortly after that. But when it was happening before that, we had a sort of a bookshelf at the front door. So when your keys would be there. So you get ready to go out somewhere, your keys would be there, you'd see them. You'd bend down to put your shoes on, you'd stand up, no keys. Be like, am I going crazy? You'd be tearing the house apart, looking all over. You think, okay, well, I guess not going out. And then so you carry on with your day. Maybe an hour or two later, you go to the mailbox because there was a flyer dropped off or a newspaper. There's your key sitting there, exactly where you left them. I'm just going to read your comments here. Rainbow, you said, oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he's not someone you want to have as a partner. I know exactly who you're talking about. He's a nasty demon, not nice at all. Well, it's not, maybe, I don't know if you might know who it is. I'm not afraid of him. I just refuse to give him the power of mentioning or speaking his name. But when I did find information on him, and again, this is a man-made definition of what they put down. They say that he was one of the first 40 created under the fallen angels, is what the lore said. And it's not a very long name. It's 4 letters. And let's just say it rhymes with bomb. That's all I'll tell you. Anyways, yes, it was definitely very, very, very nasty. I'm actually writing a book about this because there's so many things that happened. I could probably spend 10 podcasts telling you about it because, and again, I was never a disbeliever in the paranormal, but I was never interested in the paranormal. I had seen, that's one of the, I'm writing 3 books actually. My 3rd book is about the stories, mostly from nurses, but from first responders as well, and the incredible, unexplainable things we witness as nurses, especially if somebody is very close to death or they're about to leave this world and transition, as I call it, back home. So I've got some incredible stories already from nurses that have been willing to share, and I'm hoping it may help people. And again, I never tell people what to believe, but with that many different people sharing their stories, that people may have some belief, hopefully, about that there is something after this life, because there's many people that don't believe. No, I'm not trying to force anybody to believe. I'm just sharing the stories. So I'm going to read your comments here. Rainbow, he is not someone to sign a contract with at all. Oh no, I didn't sign any contract. I wasn't dumb. You're not even in my dream did I sign a contract. If he offers you all those gifts, wealth, and more, it comes with a hefty price. But doesn't anything in life, right? What's the old saying? If it's too good to be true, it probably isn't, right? Nothing comes for free. And if it does, there are good things that sometimes people will give out of the goodness of their heart with no strings attached. But when I'm saying those kind of things, yes, that comes at a price. It doesn't matter whether you're dealing with a demon or you're dealing with somebody higher up, say in Hollywood. We all know about the casting couch. We've all, whether you've wanted to see it or not, or read about it or heard about it, the what do I want to call it? Gosh, I'll just say it what went on between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp over the last how many weeks? My gosh, you know, and you hear about the casting couch. You heard everybody's dirty laundry. I'm telling you, I said to Adele so many times when this was on, you know, we've got nothing to hide and we're nobody. But I'll tell you, I wouldn't want my whole life out there for the whole world to see. Sorry, Rainbow, getting back to your comments, you said, again, he offers you all these gifts, wealth, and more, but it comes with a hefty price, a price no human can afford. And I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you wholeheartedly. And again, you know, I'll never know if that was the truth, that that's what he wanted was my son. Both of my sons are gifted as well with intuitive gifts. I did have somebody locally try and come and clear the house, and I kicked myself to this day that I didn't videotape it because what went on in that house, oh my gosh, it was incredible. It was so incredible. Now, the woman that came, lovely, lovely lady. She didn't want to be part of the show. They had offered, and she politely declined, and we respected that. But when she came to the home, she told me right at the door, she had been recommended by a trusted friend, that her guides and angels had told her to come with everything she had and to be prepared for the fight of a lifetime. And believe me, it was incredible. Um, exactly. I know exactly who you are. Those are the beings you want to run far away from. Yes. I know exactly who you're talking about. He is someone to run away from. He's bad news. Oh, is he ever bad news? Yes, he is. And the thing is, he wasn't the only one. There was 4 main entities in that house. I have pictures, and they are just incredible. I was going to try and upload them to share tonight, and then I forgot. Ran out of time actually, and I probably could do it while we're talking, but I don't want to disconnect the show just in case I end up doing it. But I used to call into Paranormal Soup quite a bit, so you can actually look through Jason Bland's channel on YouTube here, and when he's had call-in shows or people calling in, you can see all kinds of things that have gone on when I've called in. You could see it. I used to call from the most active part of my house. That's where my computer was, and it was just insane. But anyways, there was him. There was a shadow man or hat man. There was a woman, we believe it was a woman that was a shapeshifter. So maybe the kids at the time had been at their dad's or sleeping or whatever. You'd hear the kids calling you, or they'd come up and say, "Did you just call me?" or whatever. And then there was a little guy that everybody, I didn't nickname him this, but my boys and Dell did, was Super Mario Brothers. There's a little character called a Shy Guy, and he has on like a black Grim Reaper robe with a white Jason mask with the black holes. That's what he looked like. I actually have a picture of him. And everything in our house broke. It was broken. One summer we went through 5 lawnmowers. We had been through 13, 14 tires on one of our vehicles. Um, Lights would just all go out at the same time, like the light bulbs would blow. The other thing that was really incredible too, now Dell experienced a very huge, huge, huge black wolf, like the size of a car with red eyes. He saw that through our security cameras. Now, the interesting thing about our security cameras too, when this all started, they stopped recording. We had people in to look at them. We brought the box in to see them. Nothing could be fixed. So we have a lot of pictures of just the monitor that we've taken. But, and at the time, you got to remember this quite a few years back. I mean, right now, security systems are pretty inexpensive to purchase. At the time, like I think we had spent well over $1,000 on this unit. So we were going to run out and buy another one. But anyways, the 4 were there. I remember our furnace used to go out. It was a new furnace at the coldest time of the year. Now, living in Canada, I'm not up in the Arctic. I'm about 6 hours north of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and about 35 minutes away from the Minnesota border. So I'm smack dab right in the middle of Canada on Lake Superior in a city called Thunder Bay. And we have quite a bit of paranormal activity here, like lots of activity. So, Rainbow Light, you said you'd love to see the pictures and videos. Oh, well, contact me on Facebook. I'd be happy to send them to you, send them out to people, or I have a group I have 2 groups on Facebook. I have Paranormal University for all things paranormal, and then I have the Angel Rocker Tribe for when we talk about more esoteric type things like the power of the mind, power of positivity, how to balance your chakras, how to access your own gifts, things like that. So they're sister groups, and sometimes they overlap a little bit, but I try and keep certain things in certain groups. Like I'd like to keep the Angel Rocker Tribe very high vibe and positive energy. And again, the other group isn't a bad group. I think it's a great group. It's just, if you're going to talk about more negative things like this, that's sort of the place to do it. But yes, I've shared the videos and the pictures with people, quite a few people actually. So be happy to share them with you. But anyways, we did have the 4 entities, like I said. So that's where Dell saw this massive wolf with the red eyes. Now, what happened to me, and I have witnesses to this, I was talking to a friend at the time in California. It was a Saturday night. And as girls will talk, I think I had just colored my hair, and my friend had said to me, "Oh, I love the color of your hair." And I said, "Oh, I just colored it." "Well, do you remember what brand and number it is?" And I said, "No, but the box is in the garbage outside. I'll head outside and grab it." Now, this was about 2 or 3 in the morning. Before I continue with the story, Dell almost died. It is in our episode on paranormal survivors, but the only thing true to form. Now, everything we said was true in the episode. We had no control how they showed the episode or what they put in there. And we're very grateful they shared our story, but it didn't quite happen the way they said it happened. He almost died, so one of us stayed awake while the other 3 slept, always, to make sure everybody was okay. It was usually me that stayed awake. Anyways, back to this story. So I went out. It was probably about 2 in the morning, 2:30 on a Saturday. And as I went to the garbage cans, I was going down our front steps. Garbage cans were on the right-hand side. I look up and across the street, I see this white, shimmering, see-through, incredibly beautiful wolf that had to be at least 10, 11 feet long, had to be about 6 or 7 feet at the shoulder. And it was just slowly walking. And I was probably about 15 feet away, opposite on our, on our property versus it was on the sidewalk across the street. And I turned the camera and I said to my friend, "Can you see this? Like, this is incredible." And it turned its face and I saw its eyes. There was incredible shimmering ice blue. And all my friend kept saying is, "No, no, get back in the house. Lorilei, get back in the house." I'm going, "No, no, no. I want to watch this. This is super cool." And it just kept walking. Now there was another street that intersected with the sidewalk, so it crossed that, and then there was a telephone pole, and as it went past the telephone pole, it disappeared, and she's yelling at me to get inside. So I went inside because she kind of was scaring me, and I said, "Why were you telling me to get inside as I'm going inside?" And she goes, "You didn't hear that growling?" And I said, "No, I didn't hear anything." Now the creepy part was my eldest son was in the bedroom, upstairs, his bedroom. He was still awake. He didn't know what was going on. He didn't hear me talking to my friend about what I was talking, but he goes, "Mom, what the H was going on out there?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "There was all kinds of like growling and stuff." I go, "I didn't hear anything." So there you go. You said, "I would love to meet you too. Just be in the presence of the lovely legend." Well, I don't know if I'm a legend, but thank you, Lorilei, and do paranormal work with you and sessions with you is a dream and a wish come true of mine. Well, that's very kind of you to say. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I do. And I was trying to figure out who Rainbow Light is. I think I know. Is this Kelly? I think it is Kelly. I'm positive it's Kelly. If I'm wrong, let me know. Anyways, now the one thing I've been watching a lot of that I thought I'd chit chat about. I've put all kinds of things out here to talk about. I don't know. Right now, I think you're the only one I can see the comments for. Debbie, hey Debbie, how's it going? I just said I think she's the only one here. You're here too. If you guys are over on my Facebook profile or anywhere else, because I usually go after the show because there's all kinds of comments. If you come over to the YouTube channel. I was right. It is Kelly. I knew it. I figured it out all of a sudden. As soon as I read those comments, I went, "Oh my God, that's Kelly." Welcome, Kelly. I know who you are now because I'm thinking, I know that name. I know Rainbow Light Paranormal. Who is it? Who is it? Anyways, I was going to say, if you're over on my personal Facebook profile, if you can, pop over to UFO Paranormal's YouTube channel or UFO Gods and Extraterrestrials because I can't see the comments when it's on my profile. I don't know why. And I'd love to hear your comments and if you guys are able to join in. Now, Miss Debbie, I know you won't mind me sharing this story because I shared it many times when you've been there. But Debbie and I have actually had an interesting experience. And we were chatting quite a few years ago now on Skype, and we were on video chat. And Debbie was relaxing on her bed, and we were talking away. And all of a sudden, I said to her, the one and only Kelly, that's right. Anyways, I said to her, "Did you used to have a cat that used to lay on the pillow next to you?" And I remember Debbie saying, "Oh, that's my," and you gave the name of the cat. And you'd mentioned very sadly that he had gone to the Rainbow Bridge about a year earlier. And I said, "Well, you're not going to believe it. Your cat is on the pillow next to you right now. I can see it." And the cat was like flicking its tail and grooming. And then he kind of looked over at Debbie and I took pictures. Now, Debbie still has the pictures. I don't. but she has the pictures and she can attest. Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted me to say his name. Yes, Boo. I have never forgotten that story, Debbie. Never, never, never. Yes, her name was Boo. I still have those photos saved. Yes, she does. Because so many people, because I do tell this story. I don't use your name or anything, Debbie, but I do tell this story if I'm on, different podcasts and stuff. And everybody always says, I want to see the pictures. And I say, well, she has them. I sent them to her because they were yours. Oh, hi, Derek. I didn't even see you. Hi, welcome. Yes. So we've had some interesting things happen. I've had other people mention too, because, pets are like family. And I've had many of people that have lost their, loved ones or pets. And, they don't realize, I think, and I hope that it gives them some comfort that your pets don't leave you. They're able to transition. Now, everybody has a different view of this. Some people believe that your loved ones can't come back, they can't visit, they can't whatever. I believe even if your loved ones have transition, I can't talk, have transitioned back home, as I call it. Some people may call it heaven, the next realm, into the ethers, into the universe, whatever you call it. But I believe that they're able to pop back in, check in on you, see how you're doing. Every time there's a family celebration, they're there with you celebrating. Same thing with pets. And usually where their favorite spot is, you can see them. Oh, what just fell over? Oh, my stuff just fell over. Hang on here. Like I told you guys, I had a ton of stuff. We did have a guest plan for tonight. My fault, scheduling snafu. They'll be coming July 25th because we've got quite a few great guests coming, like I'd mentioned earlier at the show. Anyways, with your pets, I have seen pictures now with Fleer. Most of you that are here, Derek and Debbie and Kelly, you guys all know what Fleer is. But for those that are listening that may not know, it basically will show, if there's any heat signature, cold spots, what have you. I have seen pictures from people that I know that, pet dogs, pet cats, whatever it may be, and they've used FLIR, and they've actually been able to show after the beloved pet has passed on that you can still see the outline of the pet or what have you. And I have my own experience with that. I'm going to read your comments in just a sec. My son Justin, my youngest son, had this cat Mocha, and they were inseparable. I swear to God, they talked to each other. Like you'd hear him say Mocha, and then the cat would be meowing at him. If he had gone to his dad's, the cat would just wait on his bed. Like they were inseparable. And very sadly, and again, it could have happened. It's very rare. I hear it does happen though. The cat ended up with something called a saddle thrombus. Now it had been at the vet lots. It had been spayed. It had lots of vet care and it was never picked up, but I guess, and it was young. It was barely 3 years old. And all of a sudden it developed a heart arrhythmia, which caused a huge blood clot. And the blood clot ends up lodging right the arteries in the legs go out like an upside down Y. It lodges right at that point, and the animal is in agony and has to be euthanized. So we only had minutes to say goodbye to Mocha because I had to bring her in, and it was heartbreaking. And Justin had a very difficult time with that, and rightfully so. But that night, he came downstairs. Our bedroom was in the basement at the old house, and he opened up the door and we heard Mocha meow. And for the longest time, and Justin, even with autism, would be able to tell you, like I tuck him in still every night, and he'd be tucking him in, and Mocha used to sleep with him. And I swear to you, there'd be a plop on the bed and almost a little bit of an indent where she slept for quite a long time after she passed away. So I believe she was there in that house with us. Now I'm going to read your comments. Debbie Schmoley, I haven't either. It was such a cool experience. Yes, about Boo. Kelly says, it's true. They don't. My cats, Fluffy, Aqua, and Splits, are always with me. I know when they're around. Yeah, exactly. And Debbie says, I don't see her often anymore. Every now and then, one of them shows up on the bed or the back porch. I think they know I'm okay. I was just going to say that before I read it, Debbie. I'm getting goosebumps. I was just going to say that. So you'd written, I think they know I'm okay now, so they don't need to stay all the time now. And I agree. They know you're in a good, a different place maybe than when you were. They probably knew then you needed their energy. I believe cats are very, very, very healing. And even though us as humans may not know where we need some healing, whether it's energetic or physical we may if we're having pain or it's been diagnosed, but say it hasn't. Cats lay on us on different parts, especially when they purr. And I really believe that they know that we need healing in that spot. So that's why they go where they go and they do what they do. So there you go. Well, since we've got a few of you ladies and gentlemen here, I also grabbed a deck of cards. So if any of you, would like a quick message from Spirit, I'm happy to do that tonight. Like I said, this was kind of a last minute thing. I was going to put a replay on, and then I thought, no, you know what? I don't want to do that to you guys. I've had to do that a few times. I was quite sick there with this bad influenza bug for almost 8 weeks a few months ago, and I had to miss quite a few shows. I don't like to do that. I love hanging out with all of you. Debbie says, absolutely little healers. And well, welcome, Lori. I've heard my crossed over doggy daughter's footsteps in my room, and I felt her jump on my bed too. Aw, that's so beautiful, Lori. I'm so glad you shared that. And Derek says, before one of my cats passed, I had one that used to sleep in a circular position next to me. And then after he passed, I woke up and I seen his indentation of a circle in the blankets. Oh, I love that. And I really believe that. I really, really do. Like I think they stay to make sure we're okay. And then they still check in from time to time. So Debbie, absolutely go ahead and fire away a question. So if anybody else has a question, one question, I don't get much of a chance anymore to do this. I used to always go live and do free one question readings. So I just went with what Spirit asked me, grabbed a few. I was going to show you guys some of my resin pieces too by the end of this, because I am doing a spirituality line, as well as I probably have 200 molds. So, because that's the second thing I'm going to be doing. Okay, Kelly, go ahead, fire away. And I thought I'll share that with you before we leave tonight too. That's why I grabbed a bunch of the things. For any of you that are into healing work, and I'm going to give my friend Leanne a huge plug for this. Now, she shared this book line with me. I don't have the same book as she does. Apparently, I can't get it in Canada. I might be able to get it through Amazon. I might be able to get it through Indigo. I thought I had bought the same one, but I hadn't. Now, this is a book written, it's a whole line of them called by Henry Dowser, which, according to my friend Leanne, is like a whole group of people. They kind of write under this pen name. Now, this book is called Dowsing and Self-Healing, Just the Techniques. Now, I've just started it. It's a pretty cool book. And it gives you a whole bunch of different modalities to help with healing. So if you're one of those people that's looking for, a different healing book, I would definitely recommend the Henry Dowser series. There's a whole bunch on manifestation, grand money blocks, you name it, they cover it. So check it out. It's a really good book. I really enjoy it. So Debbie, I see your question. Anything about what's coming up for me in the next 6 months, please? And you said, Derek, you'd love a reading. So would Kelly. Okay, you'd like a reading for Marina. Give her a big hug for me, Derek, and tons of love. I love Marina. So just let me know. I guess I'm not going to guess. You let me know what you want to ask, Derek. And same as you, Kelly. Just remember, the more specific you guys can be, the more specific Spirit can be with you. Now, isn't that interesting? You asked what's coming up for you, Debbie, because I was kind of feeling that with you, that you are in a much better place. The world is your oyster. So, girl, you are in manifestation mode. I'm feeling whatever you touch kind of becomes yours, which is the way things do work. So, Spirit wants you to believe that whatever you are planning on doing, narrow it down, prioritize where your priorities are, and go for it. Make it happen. Also remember to be open to receiving too. Now, because many of us can be very good at manifesting, but the problem is many of us that are good at that forget to always receive. And what I mean by that is, say you've got a friend that says, hey, you know what? You haven't got payday till next week. Why not take you out for lunch? I feel like you need it, or whatever it may be. And many of us will say, oh, no, 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 I couldn't. Take it. It's a gift. The person's giving it. They're giving it out of the goodness of their heart. And right, we go. It's all about balance on this planet. So definitely showing that you're open to receiving. Oh, you're welcome about the book. Hang on, I'm going to, I want to pull a card for you. I don't need the cards, but I pull them just when we do quick readings like this because I find that it gives a lot more information. Because I really do mean that, Debbie. When I saw you here, I was, oh wow, I could really feel your energy and really doing well. And that was part of the reason why I shared the healing book, because that includes healing as well. I won't say anything else. I know you will know what that means, but you can even make miracles happen. You too as well, Derek, with your beloved, with healing. Okay, but hang on. Let's pull a card. I'm going to shuffle, 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 cut. I heard. Okay, so let me put my glasses on. Getting old here. Yes, I'm great at giving, working on being open to receiving better. Yes. Yeah, I knew you were, that's what you're probably going to ask, Derek. Yeah, isn't this funny, Debbie? Okay, this card, when I first saw it, it said counseling. I'm thinking counseling. Then listen to what it says. You heal with kind words, wise advice, and empathetic ear. So I think that that's a pretty good description of you. Now there's a beautiful, looks like almost a fairy on this angel. And I'm hearing these colors are very important for you. It's almost like an aqua and a lilac. So healing for yourself, I heard. So possibly crystals with those colors and numbers. I'm hearing pay attention to numbers that have significance for you as well. They will be your guiding way, is what I literally just channeled and heard. So you just said, I'm taking 2 courses right now, sound healing and self-healing, with learning more about the chakras and Kundalini awakening. Cool. Awesome. So that is what Spirit had for you. Like I said, keep doing what you're doing because your energy feels incredible. Now, I don't try to pop into people's energy here. It's just I could feel it right away when you popped on here, and I'm so glad that you all joined me tonight. Derek, I know you asked me. Kelly, I'm happy to give you a reading if you got a question. So Derek, about Marina. So I'm going to be honest because I'm always honest. This is going to be up to Marina with what she does with this and how she works with this. Now, when I say that, I know she's an incredible healer. I know that she can, with the medicine that you both work with, will be a good adjuvant or additive. Sorry, my mouth does not want to work tonight. With what you were doing with mainstream medicine. So plenty of sunshine. I'm hearing grounding and earthing for her. So getting her shoes and socks off as much as possible, feet into the earth, into the grass. Let me focus for a minute. I don't know why I keep hearing essential oils and rescue remedy. And then again, I don't diagnose, couldn't as a nurse or anything else, but I'm hearing those. I keep hearing sweetgrass, sweetgrass, sweetgrass. So, don't know what you would do with that or how it would work, but that's definitely important. Also about doing some inner emotional healing, unpacking her childhood, unpacking and processing what she has gone through, and inner child work, about nurturing and loving that inner child that wasn't there when she was growing up, that's going to be a big factor in helping to release some of this. After the show, Derek, I will try and remember. I want to send you, it's right, I think it's over there. I have the secret language of your body. Because it has things that you deal with the emotional, about healing it and letting it go and how to process it. But what Spirit is showing me, that even in the meditation, to be able to go back to herself in the difficult moments of childhood and go back as that adult and share with her, nurture her, love her, help to heal what happened in the past will be some of the key to healing what's going on now. Yes, I knew she had that. Sorry, I'm just going to back up a little bit here. You're so welcome, Debbie. Good luck with your courses. Lori, you have a question. I'm going to read that. Just hang on. Marina has leukemia, cancer, trying to get her healthy. Yes. So let me pull a card for you too, Derek. Oh, I did pull it. I wasn't going to grab it, and I heard Spirit say, take it. Healing with the Angels. I love this deck. It gives some really interesting advice. Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps. So I wasn't going to grab it. I was going to leave it, and Spirit said, take it. You're going to need it. So I'm going to send you, Derek, some screenshots from this book. I use it all the time in my healing work. And the questions it's going to ask are not for me, not for you. They're specifically just for Marina to process, to go through, there's color in there to work with. And depending on what emotions come up, it may be quite a few screenshots, but I will, whatever's recommended under leukemia, I will send to you for Marina. So, and keep doing what you're doing too, Derek. Chakra balance, I just heard as well. But this is really about letting go of, in the way of not just sweeping it under the carpet, like, yeah, it happened, let it go, but really processing. And I keep hearing the word unpacking what happened, nurturing it, and giving Marina, and this is something she needs to do with herself if she's open to it, to dealing with some of that stuff. Okay, this is the card we pulled. Hang on, let me see. Dreams. Now, this is an interesting card. Yeah, so what I'm getting from this, I'm going to look at the book for you, but I'm getting that depending on what she gets in her dreams, that some of the answers to helping to heal with this illness are coming to her. I don't know if it's from past ancestors. I'm not sure if it's some of her guides that are giving her some information. There's pink lilies in here too. Don't know if that's significant, but let me look up in this book for you. I don't always need the book, but this is just a one word. So that's what I've gotten from the one word message. But let's see. Okay, dreams. So the meaning of the card, pay attention to your dreams right now. Keep a dream journal. This card was received with important messages during your dreams. Sometimes you may wake up, meaning Marina, with the feeling that you have traveled or received instruction during your sleep. You wonder, why can't I remember my dreams? The messages and experiences of your dreams are never truly lost or forgotten. They are instead incorporated into your unconscious so that your higher self's wisdom and love can govern your actions. You can more easily remember your dreams by writing whatever you recall immediately upon awakening. And that usually happens, right? We remember our dreams, and by the time we run to the bathroom or whatever we do and get busy, most of us forget a lot of the important details. So this says, just write a little bit you can remember, and the rest of the dream will unravel in your memory. Review your dream journal often and look for patterns and themes. These recurrent dream issues signify messages that your higher self and the angels are trying to help you. So I hope that helps, sweetie. And I do send her prayers and healing. So let me go a little. Lori, I'm going to come to you next. I'm so glad, Debbie, that you're sending that too. Kelly, you were right after Lori. So Lori, I have a question. After many UFO visitations, my mediumship and clairvoyant abilities have increased. I'm smiling for a reason. My telekinetic ability is getting stronger. What is the purpose of me having this gift specifically? Wow, I'm smiling because I'm not surprised. Now, again, depending on how much you know about UFOs and ETs and what, I keep feeling like some of the stuff you've been experiencing with, and it's interesting that I actually pulled my past life deck. Okay. The reason why I feel like whom you've been connecting with are part of a past life, like family members, if you will. And part of this is, and I'm hearing this right now, that you contracted to have this happen at the specific time and place, meaning now, and for whatever, meaning the mediumship abilities, clairvoyant abilities, telekinetic abilities. Now, I believe all of us have these abilities, Lori, but for whatever reason, some of us never access them, some of us don't believe in them, and some of us are born with them and just keep on trucking. Like I'd mentioned early in the show, most children can see spirit, but as they get older and become, more involved with life and life decisions and, all that life has to offer with responsibilities, it's time to grow up. That's just your imagination. A lot of people let it go, but it's always there. The other thing I keep hearing for you, Lori, is that where we are energetically with the planet, where we're aligned, what's happening, that has been sort of what your purpose here has been. And that was the unlocking period. Now, many of us have different reasons for why our abilities unlock. For me, and you've probably had them your whole life, but not to the strength and ability that you have now. For example, this question isn't about me, but I talked about this at the beginning of the show, the paranormal experience I went through. Now, did I always have very intuitive abilities? Yes. Was I always very empathic? Yes. I have many examples of this growing up that I had no idea what it meant. But when I went through the paranormal experience, it made me realize that the answers had to come from within me and with my family, as well as it unlocked many of my abilities. So I believe that this was the right time, right place for you. I think, if you will, and it's very cliche, the stars were all aligned at the right time. I believe this is part of a family, whether, I don't know if you call yourself a star seed. I keep hearing that. I don't use that word very often. But I sort of believe that this is kind of a plan, if you will, before you incarnated into this lifetime. Now, what is the purpose of you having this gift? Girl, what is the purpose of you having this gift? Whatever you want. What do you want to do with it? How do you want to use it? I'm hearing that the telekinesis may be a bit of a problem right now with you getting used to being able to move things, or it happening maybe during periods of high emotion, like, say, we all get angry or whatever. That just comes with practice. It's like moving a muscle. Some of the things I always recommend people when we've got abilities like this and we're learning how to use them and what the purpose of them are, is to work with different mentors. I find many a person maybe just works with one mentor. If that works for you, great. I always suggest many different mentors because people have different experiences, different ways of teaching. I really feel, a really well-rounded approach and way to really learn how to master and utilize your gifts. With any of those gifts, do you want to use them for good? I would hope. And if you do, mediumship, for example, is extremely healing for people. If you're able to connect with the other side, there are so many people that they feel like they have unfinished business, sadness, guilt. They don't, maybe somebody, again, mentioning the suicide word, God forbid, but it leaves more holes in people's souls of the living when somebody makes that decision with very few answers. You're the type of person with mediumship that would be able to bring that kind of healing with your clairvoyant abilities. Again, healing work. There's so many things you could use those abilities for. I hear remote viewing with you. I don't know if you're able to do that yet or not, but remote viewing. The world is your oyster, is what I keep hearing. And so, whatever you choose to use these gifts for, the thing is, many of them, I keep hearing the word healing. I'm sorry, Spirit will not let this go. Healing, 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 healing. Now, I never tell somebody what their life purpose is or what the purpose of their gifts are, but that is one of the big things that you could do if you so chose to use your gifts to be able to help others heal. to be able to help people, like I said, move forward. Even I keep hearing teaching and mentoring. Once you've mastered your abilities, teaching others how to turn on that switch, if you will, in their brain and learn how to use these abilities themselves. Now, I don't know if that will help you or not, hun. You just said, yes, you're starseed. Thank you for confirming this. Also, yes, I only have them for good. I figured I felt that. Sometimes I hear many voices while I'm going to sleep too. You do remote viewing, yeah, because spirit is just going a mile a minute here. It might have sounded like a blah, 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 but that's what happens when spirit starts talking. I'm very clairaudient, or I can really hear spirit. So again, I don't think it's a bad thing, and I guess it's how you perceive it, but there's so many beautiful things you could do with these gifts. Just give yourself grace, give yourself time. It's like a muscle. We work on that, we practice, we work a little bit every day. There's so many different places on the internet, groups, what have you, where you can practice. You can give these messages I'm hearing. And I'm thinking of mediumship, anything like that you'd be able to do, because I really hear healing. Yes, spirit, I hear you. They must have said it. Always joke I have a naggy spirit guide, and they just keep repeating it over and over and over and over until I say it. I will pull a card for you. I'm gonna pull from my life purpose deck. Hang on, did I mix these guys up? No, I didn't. Thank God. Sometimes I do that. And like I say, I don't need decks. And Kelly, I'm getting to you. I haven't forgotten. Uh, Oh, thank you, Derek. You said thank you and all the best in your skills. Thank you. Um, I'm going to pull from a life purpose deck for you here, and we'll see what else. But that's literally what I heard. I'm not usually a cliche type of person, but I keep hearing the world is your oyster. There's so many beautiful things you can do with these gifts. Just say thank you and carry on. Remote viewing, my goodness, girl, the things you could do with remote viewing. I don't know if you're thinking of writing a book too, because yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I don't want to tell you what I'm hearing and seeing. Well, I guess I should. I just don't like to feel like I'm telling people what to do. But almost the fact with remote viewing, going back in time through history, correcting what the truth was, as well as, timelines in the future, things that may help people that won't cause an anomaly, but may help guide humanity too. A lot of people are needing a lot of hope right now and a lot of positivity. So this card just jumped out. Don't know what it is. We shall see. Hang on. So obviously that was meant for you. So this is for Lori. Freedom. I swear to God, I did not pick this out. You're free to do what you choose. I think that's pretty self-explanatory with the message that we were just talking about from Spirit. I think that's why they gave me the world is your oyster, hun. And I'm so glad that you asked. You said, I really appreciate your direction. I'm a massage therapist. And I wondered, okay, before I even read the rest of that, that's what I was hearing. And I didn't say it, but what I was hearing is, do I quit my muggle job? And when's the point in time when I jump forward to start utilizing this to help support myself? Let me read what you said. I'm a massage therapist and Reiki master. These must be the next steps for me to take in focusing on these other abilities. Aw, thank you. What you said, you're beautiful inside and out. So back to the muggle job. And all of us ask these questions. So again, you don't have to do what I'm saying, but sometimes what people do is they start doing exactly what I'm doing right now. Maybe you choose to do a few readings or some teaching or what have you. And as that starts to grow, there's going to come a point in time that if you're not doing this just to make money, but money is just an energy source, right? So we need money to live on this planet. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that's sometimes what you can do is kind of balance the two out, stick your toe in the water with a couple different things, see where that goes, and ask spirit to give you a sign when the time is to make that jump, including that if it's financially feasible. Sometimes people aren't even in that situation to make it financially feasible. They just go for it because the feeling is so strong. Just remember, you have those two very incredible other professions to go back on, right? But I always say jump and the net appears. So I hope that helps. I'm going to read. Sorry, poor Kelly. She's been sitting there waiting patiently. Okay, glasses, where'd you go? Okay, Kelly, Rainbow Light Paranormal. I noticed I had a major shift in both my energy and spiritual journey. Is there anything that I should know about and work on in my spiritual work that is coming up in the year ahead? Let me focus on that for a minute. So what I'm hearing is what can happen with meditation for you, Kelly, is if you can bring a notebook in, it's okay to open your eyes. Spirit will hold class with you if you ask them. They will literally have classes with you if you ask them. So getting information that way, keep focusing on what you're doing. Gratitude is the key. Also, that when there's anger, we all go through this. There's nothing wrong with that. We experience, that's why we have emotions. But when there's more lower vibrational emotions that surface, that outside is the way to go to process that, to release it. Also, really focusing on grounding, and that goes for everybody here. Grounding, so important. So if we're feeling stressed, Marina, who's very ill, that's, I think, why Spirit gave me getting her shoes and socks off and getting in the earth. They put that documentary out a few years ago, Earthing, and made it sound like this was a miraculous new healing modality that's been around for thousands of years. So important with the grounding. You're so welcome, Lori. I just want to read the rest of this and focus. Major shift. Sorry, I really want to focus. Should know about my work. I'm almost feeling, Kelly, that you're not really sure what direction you want to go in next with where your abilities are at. So, and if I'm wrong, please let me know. I always tell people, as human beings, even though we have, clairvoyant abilities, does not mean we're 100% right. And just my opinion, but if anybody tells you they're 100% right always with what they get, run. Because nobody's 100% right. But I kind of feel that with you, Kelly, that you're kind of torn in what direction you want to go. Like, where do I go with this? What do I do with this? And I sort of think it relates back to even the question that you asked me. So, what Spirit's showing me is with most human beings, right, we have aptitudes or abilities that we're really good at. Somebody's really good at math and numbers. So maybe they choose to go into accounting or business. Somebody's incredible at drawing and painting. They become an artist. Somebody's amazing at sports. They become a professional athlete. This is what Spirit is asking you to sit down and do. They're asking you, where do you feel like your strengths lie? What do you feel comfortable with? It should be almost as natural as breathing. And once you start to pin that down, and even if you're not sure, there's always something we're better at. Always. Like, even with my abilities, I know my strongest ability is clairaudience, hearing, because I hear spirit all day long. And I don't hear voices. It's in my own voice, but I can discern the difference, right? But other people have different abilities. Take Lori, for example, about the remote viewing and all these other abilities. She has all these abilities she's talked about, and I'm not comparing you. I'm just using it as an example because each one of us is unique and individual. But I'll bet you that there's probably one that she feels most comfortable with, and it's easier than the rest of them, if you will. So that's what Spirit is asking you to sit down and take a look at. Um, and then when you do find one that maybe you really enjoy and it does come easier than the others, is to focus on that one. Sit down on that one with that if you're able to. I keep hearing books, so sitting down, whether it's an audiobook or a book to read, but really getting a well-rounded view of that area and listening to many different perspectives. And it's almost like cherry picking, right? This little bit from this person, this little bit from this person, so that you create your own modality in the way that you utilize that specific gift. Now, nothing is saying that, you can't use the multitude of your gifts. I mentioned at the beginning of every show all the different things that I do, But when I do a reading now, I usually don't just book, say, a mediumship reading or an Akashic Records reading or what have you, unless specifically asked, because I find usually when I do a reading, I kind of pull from everything and bring it all together. So that's what Spirit is giving me for you. I hope that helps. Keep up with the meditation. I know you love crystals. Bringing some of your favorite, more powerful feeling crystals into a meditation can really make some connections that you might not have felt before, where you may be able to get some really incredible information from, say, guides that you haven't connected with before, or some of the ascended masters, or what have you. I just heard Saint Germain for some reason, and the violet flame. So I don't know if you've looked into that or not, but I hear that he is waiting to connect with you or to continue working with you if you have not yet connected with him. So I'm not going to pull from my life purpose deck for you. I am hearing Angels and Ancestors by Kyle Gray. Don't know, some of you may follow Kyle Gray, but if you don't, check him out. He's just a big ball of love, that guy. I just love watching him. I love, sometimes he runs a free seminar, by the way. I actually, because I'm doing a lot of resin work, I want something to listen to. And I actually went to it online, and I was really glad that I did, because it was a tune-up of sort of some things that we sometimes forget when we're working in this field, right? Because I actually learned some different techniques and things. That's why when I mentioned about the cherry picking, and again, any of you listening out here, if we haven't been able to get to your question, I haven't been able to see it here, but you've heard an answer, you went, holy crap, that message could have been like for me. Guess what? It is for you. So anything that's come from Spirit here, if it resonates for you and you're listening to this, even if it's on the archived recording, it is meant for you. You were meant to hear that in this time. Ooh, I knew you did, Debbie. Oh, hi, Michelle. How are you? Michelle's visiting us here from Australia. Michelle, if you'd like a reading, you're more than welcome. Michelle's very intuitive too, I know. She said, G'day, I'm here. I'm listening on Facebook, wishing you well, and I send you the same. I guess maybe this is your card because it just fell. So hang on, Kelly. Fire Guardian, ignite your passions. I'm looking at this, trying to pick. Oh my goodness. I think, Kelly, I might have to send you a picture because there's a bunch of symbols on this guy in the way of tattoos. I was trying to see what they were. So don't know if you've been connecting maybe with some native elder guides or what, if this is a sign, but definitely kind of, that's what I love about Spirit. Why I pull the deck, it kind of always goes along with what they give me, because you're asking what direction. I'm telling you to pick what you're best at, and this is saying, Fire Guardian, ignite your passions. You're leaving in about 30 minutes. I don't know if I'll still be on here, honey. It's 7:32 here, and I'll be done about 7:55. But if you're here and you're able to leave me a question, and again, I always say the more specific you can be, the more with Spirit, the more specific Spirit can be with you. Let's see what the book has to say here. Kelly, hang on. I hope Kelly's still here. She didn't fall asleep waiting or took off. If you did, I understand, Kelly. Let's see. Thank God most of these are in alphabetical order, but believe me, I have some decks that aren't, and they are absolutely, oh my God, they drive me insane. Okay, I think this is one of them. Never mind. Kyle, why do you do this to me? Let me see. Am I missing a page? I'm going to have to look this up. Sorry. Okay, where are you here? Would you believe I can't find this in here? You've got to be kidding me. The Meetings of the Cards. Okay, I've got the right book, right? No, I don't. That's why. Duh. I'm going, maybe I've got the wrong book. Okay, where did you go, box? See, this is what happens. I throw everything around here and then I can't find anything. Oh, there it is. Good. I'm going, why can't I find Fire Guardian? Hang on. Sorry, Kyle. I said, or I think he did do it to me. Let's see. Yes, he did. he is one of these decks that is not in alphabetical order. And I know I have some of them. So let me find, here we go, Fire Guardian on page 100. That number is significant for some reason, Kelly. I have no idea why. Spirit lit it up for me. So you're just listening. Okay, so this is for you, Kelly. Like I said, Fire Guardian. Okay, this is pretty well. The first line is sort of what I've been rambling on about here. Message: connect with your desires. The sparks could lead to something beautiful. Okay, about the Fire Guardian. Fire Guardian represents the angels of fire. Fire is an energy that many people are afraid of, but shouldn't be. Burning desires can lead to great expansion. Allow the Fire Guardian to help you awaken a wilder side of yourself and burn away any fear or shame that stands between you and your desires. When this card appears, as it has now, you're reminded that passion is powerful and absolutely encouraged by spirit. And then there's an extended message here. You're being guided by your angels to connect with the powerful energy of desire at this time. Or I almost hear the word, I do hear the word passion, connecting with the energy, powerful energy of passion. If you have recently set an intention, oh, this is getting quite personal here. If you have, and again, no answers necessary, but if you have recently set an intention to explore your sexual side or become more sexually open, the fire of desire can burn away any old setbacks that are preventing you from expressing that part of your nature. If you're in a relationship, this card can indicate a great spiritual and sexual connection. And I'll leave it at that. So there you go. I think we got to everybody. Let me see if we missed anybody. I'm so glad I got to do this because I don't get to do this anymore. I used to do it all the time. Like at least every couple months, I go live and do one question readings. Debbie, sending lots of love to you all. I got to go and start making dinner. I'm making something new tonight. Donnie caught some snapper and flounder and I'm going to attempt a fish piccata. Oh, sounds amazing, Debbie. Well, both of you have a beautiful dinner and I'm so glad you popped in. It was great to see you and good luck with your courses. Love ya. So where are we going to go with this now? If anybody else pops in and sends me a question, or if I have gotten busy and have missed it, please feel free to post it again down below. Oh, you're so welcome, hon. One of the other topics I was going to talk about, and a lot of people roll their eyes and they laugh at me, and that's okay. Now, I am not obsessed with celebrity. I really could care less about celebrity except to wish them well, hope they're happy, and what have you. I'm also not materialistic in the way that, and I think that being a nurse working in, I always say I've been blessed to work at the beginning of, hang on, Michelle, I'll get to that. Having been working at the beginning of life, hundreds of times working in the NICU. And before I hurt my back, I did many things out in the community, but I worked a lot with palliative care. And I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, every single person that had terminal illness that I worked with, not one of them ever said, and I worked with them from all walks of life, from the poorest of the poor to multi millionaires. And it was always the same. And it was the regrets. And it wasn't about, especially if they had money, that I wish I had, spent more money on this or bought more of this or bought more of that. It was always, I wish I had told the people that mean the most to me every single day, several times a day, how much I love them and how much they mean to me, how much I appreciate them. Many of them would say, I wished I hadn't waited, till I lost, say, that 30 pounds to go do something, or, I always wanted to do this, but I thought, oh, I got lots of time, I'll do it then. It was people that they loved and things, dreams that they wish they had followed and chased. And it was things like that. It was never about materialism. Now, if we have time, I will get back to what I was going to say about celebrity here, because I was going to talk about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, not about the case, but what we can learn from that and what we can take from that. So Michelle wants to know, and I will get back to it, but I want to answer Michelle's question. Can I ask if my parents are okay? Hang on. Ask and you shall receive. Kelly says, it's okay if you don't. And Kelly says, thank you. Well, I can tell you right now, honey, if your parents are okay. And I'm assuming, because how I normally work with mediumship, and depends if they have strong energy, sometimes I don't need it. But when I do mediumship, I usually get a picture of somebody from most recent before they've transitioned back home. And but sometimes they have strong energy. No, I'm really feeling like both your parents have passed, and I'm very sorry for your loss. And if I'm incorrect, please let me know. But I do feel like your parents are okay. I feel like your parents are fine. Now, even if they were alive, but I am very strongly feeling that they are not with us physically. They are fine. And this goes for anybody that has a loved one over on the other side. Okay, thanks, Michelle. Our loved ones, maybe you had and I'm not saying necessarily with yourself, Michelle. I'm saying with anybody, maybe you had a really tumultuous relationship with them. Maybe you weren't speaking when they passed. Maybe you weren't able to make it when they passed away. There's many reasons why we hang on to, oh, my mother must be so angry with me, my mother this or father that, or what it may be. Now, the beautiful thing, and I talked about earthbound spirits earlier, so I'm not talking about earthbound people. I'm talking about people that have transitioned, have crossed, have gone to heaven. They still retain who they were in life, this lifetime. I find that people say if they were in a wheelchair or they were very ill or maybe they had dementia or Alzheimer's or anything like that, if they do choose to show themselves, sometimes I can see them, sometimes it's just energy, it might be a smell, might be a color. But if they choose to show themselves, they show themselves almost every time I've seen someone at the prime of their life when they felt they looked most beautiful or most attractive, they're healthy, they're whole. And the beautiful thing about our loved ones when they go back home is they're able to see things from a different perspective. They're able to let go of all the human faults that somebody may have had. They never have any anger or anything of that fact. They like I mentioned earlier in the show, they can check in with you when you have a family gathering. They're there when you're sad, just like they might have done in lifetime for you. They're there with you, holding you, caring for you. Um, they never leave us. Love never dies, and we have so many family on the other side. We have friends. We have people we knew from previous lifetimes. They're always together and they're happy. There's no sadness, there's no pain, there's no anger. They're able to see anything from the other side of the perspective of, like, if there was an argument, even any for any reason, like we're concerned, are they okay? They are incredible. They're doing wonderful. And the only thing that brings them sadness is when they see how sad we are. And there's no way to get rid of that sadness. And, when we're a human being on this planet, grief is a normal process and there's no timetable with it. So I usually find that the biggest message that people's loved ones want to convey to their loved ones when they come for a reading is we're fine, we're happy, we're okay with what happened with us. And they really want to let the other one, the ones that are still here, that we're okay. You don't need to be sad. You don't need to be grieving. Now, the thing is, I'm not telling people you can't grieve. Again, I want to reiterate that is a normal human process. Sometimes it's a lifetime of grieving. Nobody has the right to tell anybody, well, it's been 5 years. Don't you think you could get over it? Nobody has the right to tell somebody that. And they don't forget that too when they transition back home. But I just know they usually send so much joy and love. If they could only see how I am now and how I feel and how proud I am. And you said, I guess they are better than us. No, they're not better than us. I'm going to read your comment. You said you're correct. You said, my mom had dementia, dreamt of her over 2 years after she passed. Haven't dreamt of my dad. He's been gone for 12 months. No, they're not better than us. Everyone grieves differently. You're absolutely right. Because guess what? When we transition back home, we'll be the same way. Because, somebody had called recently that I was talking to. I think it might have been Garnet Schulhauser. I played the interview last week or the week before. And he called it Earth School. And it is one of the most incredibly difficult places for us to have a lifetime. And we have thousands of them. We really do. And because you come here with spiritual amnesia, meaning you don't remember anything you've learned in a previous lifetime or who you are, there are exceptions. You also come in this clumsy, fragile, dense body. The gifts that we have and that we're capable of over on the other side, where most of us aren't aware of them. Sometimes they get unlocked, and we're capable of discovering who and what we are. If humanity ever knew how powerful and incredible we are as human beings, excuse me, what a planet we would live on, let me tell you. Aw, thank you, Michelle. But your parents are great. And you know what? If you want to talk to your dad before you go to sleep, ask him to come through. Ask him to come and visit you. Things that can help with that. I don't know why I'm hearing lavender. Lavender maybe under your pillow, maybe lavender scented spray. Um, you can put any crystals for yourself. I know you have crystals, Michelle. So anything that you find that really works well with you that helps with clarity, you can put that under your pillow. Just remember, if he hasn't come through, or because I keep hearing he has, you just may not remember the dream. And it sounds like you do remember your dreams because your mom's been with you. I really feel, and what I'm hearing from spirit is, if he doesn't come through right away, it just may be that he knows that it's almost like ripping a Band-Aid off of a wound for you right now. And that may be why he's giving you that space and time. But he has never left you. Your mom doesn't have dementia anymore. They're together, but they are so happy. And I'm going to pull a card for you. I did bring my one of my mediumship decks for you. But they love you. They are healthy. They are whole. They are with family. Every time you think of them, because there is no space and time on the other side, they're with you. Keep talking to them, whether it's in your mind's eye, whether it's out loud. They hear you. They hear you. I don't know why, and I don't know what your mom looks like, but I just have this vision of a female hugging you right now, giving you a kiss right here. So they are always with you, and they just love you so, so much. They really do. And that's with any of our loved ones. So keep talking to them because they do hear you. And I know you know that, Michelle. I know you do, but sometimes it's just good to hear from somebody else, isn't it? Keep doing what you're doing. And that's what I keep feeling like with your dad. He has popped in, but it would be very, I don't want to tell you how to feel or how you would feel, but they keep showing me like ripping a Band-Aid off of a wound. So there's been some time that's passing to just sort of give you some more time to process and grieve over what's been happening. I know you miss them. They miss you too, but they said we haven't gone anywhere. I don't know, and I'm not trying to push my show on anybody, but if haven't seen the interview with Garnet Schulhauser, please watch it, because I'm positive it was him that was talking about heaven and that it's not really as far as we think it is. I'm positive. I hope I didn't mix that up. But we talked about what happens after you die. And I kept telling him in the interview, because he met his spirit guide who was a homeless man on the street. Garnet was a lawyer and almost near retirement and had no interest in spirit guides or anything like that. And it was Albert who he met. It's actually a really fascinating story. And he now communicates telepathically with him, but they do quite a bit of astral travel together. And he talked about on my show about a visit back actually to heaven to visit his parents. And I kept telling him what an incredible gift you were given. And he actually really explained just some of the things I just shared from spirit with you. He was expecting his mother to be very angry with him because she did not condone anything of the sort of talking to spirit guides or anything like that. And he was able to say that, yeah, it was like she was a different person. There was no judgment. There was none of that that he would have gotten had he been connecting with his mother in earthly form, if you will. He said the only thing that keeps you from going is the fact they were okay when they lost their parents. Yeah, exactly. And I don't mean to be facetious, but they always say, right, there's two things that are guaranteed, death and taxes. And, I'm not being facetious, but we all go through it. And, you know, I really do believe there's an afterlife. Between the paranormal that we see, with mediumship, with all the things that I've had the wonderful opportunity to learn and see and talk with different people and connect. I don't think I ever doubted the afterlife anyways, but I definitely believe there's an afterlife and that we will have many, many, many more lifetimes after this one as well. We are, as many people say, and I concur, we are eternal souls just having a human experience right now in this lifetime. We really are eternal. Okay, I pulled this card. We are soulmates. So there's two. I'm going to say those flowers represent your mom and dad. And as many people may think, and I know I've talked with you many times, Michelle, but I know you would know that soulmates aren't just romantic. They can be parents, they can be friends, they can be siblings, they could be so many different things. So, not that we don't know that usually our parents are part of our core soul group, but they said we are soulmates. So, so every time you're sad and you think of them, they're there with you, Michelle. They are. They love you. They would never leave you. They will be there when the day long from now, hopefully. None of us are ever guaranteed tomorrow. I always tell people that, and I'm not prophesizing anything. I'm just putting it out there as we all know. But they will be there when it's your time. Just to any of us as well, our loved ones will be there with us when it's that time to transition back. Thanks, Michelle. I'm going to quick check you with, or quick, I can't even talk. You can tell it's almost the end of the show. I'm going to check. I always like to check the book when there's just one message, just in case there's anything else that they want to add. So where are we? Okay. Gosh, this sucks getting older. No, actually, I'm joking. I always say age is just a number. See, I got too much crap on the bed here. Now I'm losing my glasses. Okay, so this quickly says we are, hopefully I can see with these, soulmates. It was no accident that our lives intersected as we are from the same soul group with symbiotic life purposes. We were brought together in our earth life to help each other grow, learn, and love. Sometimes that meant painful situations that tested our patience and ability to forgive each other. We sincerely apologize for any pain we may have inflicted upon you. At each moment, we were doing the best that we possibly could. At times, we may have fell very short of our potential. Or it says I've been putting we, because I feel this is from both your parents. We hope you will release any anger or sadness or anything that's unfinished business, for your own sake. And that means if it may involve them. And they say for your own sake, releasing that versus not theirs. And they say, we hope that in some ways we have helped you grow and learn. So I want to thank you all for being here. This was a lot of fun for me tonight, and I really appreciate all of you joining me because like I said, I don't get the time to do free one question readings like I like to because been busy with my new passion. So this is one of my resin pieces. It's a shelf. I brought my whole little box up. I have so many. This is a cat clock. I don't have the clock pieces on it yet. It's going to have a clock on it and a little tail. I also, this just an iPod case, iPod pieces. Oh, you're so happy you caught me live, Michelle. I'm happy I caught you too. Let's see, what else can I show you guys? Oh, these are some of the pendulums I've been making. I use these in my chakra work and crystal Reiki. So this is a Mickey Mouse one. You'd have to see it up close. It's in the Mickey Mouse colors. It's got little crystals at the top. And it's got little Mickey Mouses on the inside and the clear part. It's another one I've made. I have made ruins. What else have we got? We got little gumball machine. It's got little gumballs and a keychain. The reason why I'm mentioning this is if you can, keep your eyes open because, like I said, I have about 200 molds and it's going to be a second business that I'm launching. Here's a little pyramid. I'm going to be making bigger ones as well. What else am I making? Oh, I have crystal charging plates with Metatron's cube in it, with chakra symbols in them. So there's all kinds of pieces like that. You said I haven't been making my room since January. Not sure what's stopping you. Are you? Oh, thank you. Well, you wouldn't believe I'm making actually a carousel right now. Sophie and Toffee. Oh, there's some of my chakra stones. I have chakra stones. It's a company from Singapore, and I treated myself to a monthly subscription, so it comes with a theme every month. So I'll post pictures, and like I said, I'm planning on opening a store soon. Kuromi, and Kuromi's a little shaker, so if you shake it, it'll be a keychain. I'm trying to grab things quickly because I brought the whole box up here. A lot of the pieces I hand paint, like this is Stormtroopers. I have Darth Vader, I have R2D2. Oh, so cool. Yes, that's what I'm going to be making. Organite too, with the pyramids. But there's so many different pieces. Like I said, I have cute pieces like this, more serious pieces. I have chessboards, you name it. I have a mold for it. But because of the lightworker stuff I do, I'm really going to hopefully be able to help promote a lot of the organite, the pyramids, the more spirituality-based pieces. So keep your eyes open for that. I want to thank you all so much for you being here. Thank you, Michelle. Like I said, I have so many pieces here and downstairs because every spare moment I've been spending doing this. I just love it. I want to thank you all for being here and for your great comments and questions and feedback. It always makes it a better show when I'm rambling for 2 hours. Next week, and I meant to check to see who my guest was, and I couldn't remember. I promise you, great guest. I've got wonderful people coming from all over the world. I want to give a huge shout out to Gavin Lee Davies. He sends me the best authors and people, and we've got quite a few coming up for you. Stay tuned. Coming up after, oh God, how could I forget? The Horsefly Chronicles are coming up next with Phil and Julia Syracusa. It's a great show. Make sure you stay tuned in. You ever want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on facebook.com/The Angel Rock. And I will see you next week, same time, same space. Send you all so much love and light, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be. Have a good one, everybody. See you next week.